Welcome to Recap King. In this video, we will explain The Man from Nowhere. This movie tells the story of a quiet pawn shop keeper with a violent past, who fight against a drug and organ trafficking ring in hope of saving the child who is his only friend. Who is the real identity of this pawn shop owner? Can he save the child? Let's find out in The Man from Nowhere. The Man from Nowhere begins with the story of a group of detectives who are about to catch a drug courier at a nightclub. Unfortunately, they couldn't find any evidence because a bag containing drugs had been stolen by a dancer. Elsewhere, a man named Tae-sik, who works at a pawn shop in a slum, has just bought flowers. When he was about to enter the shop, he was approached by a little girl named Somi. Tae-sik himself doesn't get along with his neighbors much. The only friend he has in the neighborhood is Somi. In the past, Somi had stolen Tae-sik's belongings, but now she claims she doesn't steal anymore. Somi came to the pawn shop to pawn her MP3. When she receives the money, Somi accidentally sees Tae-sik's sausage. Somi says that she likes sausages. Feeling sorry for her, Tae-sik invites her to eat at his shop, which is also his home. While they were eating and chatting, Somi's mother shouted for her. Somi was very scared to hear her mother's voice and immediately hid under the table. Tae-sik then lies to Somi's mother, saying that her daughter is not with her. Not believing Tae-sik's words, Somi's mother asks Tae-sik to open the door wide. Tae-sik tries to knock Somi's rice bowl over so her mother doesn't get suspicious. After the bowl was dropped and caught by Somi, Tae-sik immediately opened the door, and finally, Somi's mother believed that Somi wasn't there. It turns out that Somi's mother is Hyo-jeon, the dancer who stole a bag filled with drugs at the nightclub where she works. Hyo-jeon goes to the pawn shop to pawn a camera and a bag containing the drugs. After processing the pawn shop documents for Hyo-jeon, Tae-sik goes back inside and sees Somi carrying the flowers that bought earlier. She tucked one of the flowers on her ear, making Tae-sik so angry that he snatched the flower from Somi's hand. Elsewhere, the Chinese trafficker lord named Oh Yoon-ju is seen slapping one of his subordinates, Man-sok, for having lost a large amount of drugs. Man-sok tells Yoon-ju that he already knows who stole the drugs and promises to take them back. Yoon-ju gives Man-sok 3 days to return the lost drugs. Meanwhile, at Somi's house, a man comes to Hyo-jeon and asks for the drug package she had stolen. Hyo-jeon is silent, making the man angry and beating her up. Somi silently watched what the man was doing. Frightened, she goes to Tae-sik's house and begs to stay for the night. Tae-sik lets her in, but when he checks her room the next morning, she is gone. In the afternoon, Tae-sik leaves his shop to go somewhere using a bus while carrying the flowers. Along the way, he listened to music using Somi's MP3 player. It turns out that Tae-sik visited his wife's grave. After returning from the graveyard, Tae-sik sees Somi being interrogated by 2 policemen on the side of the road for being accused of stealing a bag. Somi then points to Tae-sik, who is standing some distance near the alley of her house, and tells the police that it's her father. However, Tae-sik immediately leaves Somi, leaving the cops confused. Arriving at a grocery store, Tae-sik sees Somi stealing an item. Tae-sik intends to pay for the stolen item, but the shopkeeper doesn't want to accept the money because he already knows that Somi often steals at the shop. The old man knows that Somi did that to get other people's attention. He suggests that Tae-sik occasionally take Somi for a walk. Then, Tae-sik meets Somi, who is crying in an alley. She asked her MP3 player to be returned to her. She was even willing to exchange it for her lucky card. Before leaving, Somi said that she was very disappointed in Tae-sik, who ignored her. But she didn't hate him. She has a principle: if she hates someone, she will never have someone she likes. When Somi comes home, she sees her mother tied up and tortured by Jung-sok, a drug dealer who is also Man-sok's younger brother. On the other hand, Tae-sik is visited by some of Jung-sok's men. Tae-sik gives him his wallet, thinking he's being robbed. Jung-sok's men laugh at him, but with a very fast movement, Tae-sik grabs the knife of Jung-sok's men. Not long after, another of Jung-sok's men named Ram-wan came. He gives Tae-sik a cell phone that is connected to Jung-sok. Tae-sik takes the phone and hears the voices of Somi and Hyo-jeon, who have been kidnapped. Jung-sok asks Tae-sik to give the camera bag that Hyo-jeon pawned to Ram-wan. Tae-sik immediately obeys Jung-sok's orders, but Somi and Hyo-jeon still haven't been released. Ram-wan instead shoots one of his comrades to distract Tae-sik. He then ran away and deliberately left his cell phone. The next day, from the cell phone left by Ram-wan, Tae-sik gets a phone call from Jung-sok. If Tae-sik wants Somi and Hyo-jeon to survive, he must deliver a drug package to a Chinese dealer who turns out to be Yoon-ju. Tae-sik obeys Jung-sok's orders by taking the drug package using the car that has been provided. After completing his mission, Tae-sik then asks Yoon-ju to free Somi and Hyo-jeon, but Yoon-ju doesn't understand what Tae-sik is talking about. Suddenly, Yoon-ju received a phone call from Mon-sok. Mon-sok turns out to have trapped Yoon-ju and reports him to the police out of revenge. Not long after, police cars surrounded the building where Yoon-ju was. Yoon-ju immediately ordered his men to kill Tae-sik, who he thought was Mon-sok's messenger. Tae-sik reacts quickly by jumping out the window and falling in the wide net. Seeing Yoon-ju trying to escape, Tae-sik tore the net and chased Yoon-ju with his car. However, Yoon-ju was able to escape from the pursuit of Tae-sik and the police. Tae-sik then got out of the car and accidentally saw the car trunk lid open. In the trunk, he sees Hyo-jeong's body covered in stitches, because her organs have been stolen. Seeing that, Tae-sik assumes that Somi has also died. Because they think Tae-sik is the killer, the police immediately arrest him. They then interrogate Tae-sik, before finally going to Tae-sik's pawn shop. Arriving there, the police found the bodies of Jung-sok's men. Elsewhere, an old woman deals with Jung-sok's men, who then gives Somi to her. She turns out to be managing a place for children who are forced to work as drug couriers. Meanwhile, Tae-sik manages to escape from the police station. Tae-sik's escape from tight security makes the police try to find out about his identity. It turns out that Tae-sik is a former covert operative for the South Korean Army intelligence. He retired since his wife was killed by a hitman. Tae-sik himself is now looking for the cell phone that Jung-sok gave him, which he threw away in an alley. Then, he went to a cell phone shop and asked the seller who the buyer of the cell phone he was carrying. But the cell phone seller instead ordered his men to attack Tae-sik. It was only after Tae-sik defeated them that the cell phone seller finally gave up. He gives Tae-sik a business card of the person who bought the cell phone. He also said that the buyer has a business in trading human organs. Tae-sik immediately goes to the address on the business card, which turns out to be a discotheque. There, he finds Do-chi, the man whose name is written on the business card. Tae-sik then beats Do-chi and asks him about Somi's whereabouts. But just as he was about to bring Do-chi, Ram-wan came. He shoots Tae-sik, but Tae-sik is able to take cover by using Do-chi as a shield. Do-chi dies instantly, while Tae-sik hides in the toilet cubicle. Ram-wan then shot all the toilet doors randomly. But Tae-sik attacks Ram-wan from behind before running away. Inside the crowded discotheque, Tae-sik sees Ram-wan standing next to Mon-sok, who throws his cell phone at Tae-sik again. But before Tae-sik could confront Mon-sok, the police rushed in. Turns out, the police have been tailing Tae-sik. The arrival of the police forces Mon-sok and Ram-wan to leave the discotheque. Tae-sik tries to chase after them, but unfortunately, they escape after getting into the car that Jung-sok is driving. Tae-sik then points a gun at a car on the road and asks the owner to get out. Using a stolen car, he escapes from the police who are about to arrest him. While on his way to his friend's house, Tae-sik gets a call from Mon-sok. Mon-sok tells him that he will sell Somi's cornea. Tae-sik responds to Mon-sok's threat with a threat. Mon-sok will regret having messed with him. Not long after, Tae-sik arrived at his friend's house to remove the bullet lodged in his stomach during his fight with Ram-wan. During the operation, Tae-sik reminisced about the moment when his wife was killed while pregnant. That's why, on his wife's grave, there is a small shoe placed there. After recovering after surgery, Tae-sik plans to find Somi. He asked his friend to find a firearm. Even though his friends have warned him, Tae-sik has made up his mind. Luckily, Tae-sik gets information from the police that Somi is still alive. She is seen from CCTV camera while taking money at ATM. In exchange for this information, the police asked Tae-sik to explain what really happened, and also his relationship with the drug syndicate. Tae-sik then tells what really happened and why Hyo-jeong's body was in the trunk of his car. After their conversation was over, Tae-sik came to the place where he picked up the drug packet for the first time. Meanwhile, Somi is now in a room where she is accompanied by Ram-wan, who gives her a cake. Seeing Ram-wan's forehead hurt, Somi immediately put a bandage on Ram-wan's forehead. Ram-wan's heart was touched. He felt sorry for Somi's fate. One afternoon, Tae-sik stalks children who are delivering drug packages. During the surveillance, he found Somi was delivering shoes containing several ATM cards to a place for drug transactions. He followed her and saw a child getting into a van. However, his reconnaissance was blocked by the police who suspected him. So he had to fight some police and jump from inside the building. Finally, Tae-sik managed to follow the van earlier. Upon entering the building, which is a drug manufacturing plant, he finds several children forced to work, and one of them has even fainted. The unconscious child is then taken to a room, and Tae-sik manages to sneak in and find the confinement room. There, he saw Jung-sok and immediately shot him. After that, Tae-sik calls Mon-sok to ask for information about Somi's whereabouts. Mon-sok still doesn't want to tell where Somi is, even though he hears Jung-sok is being tortured by Tae-sik. Jung-sok begs Tae-sik not to kill him, but Tae-sik won't forgive him. Jung-sok died after Tae-sik blew up the building. Elsewhere, So-mi is with a surgeon who will take her organs. Ram-won was there too, watching over her. The surgeon said that So-mi's mother died because her organs had been removed on Mon-sok's orders. Now, he also has to take So-mi's organs on Mon-sok's orders. However, So-mi still thinks her mother is still alive and asks the surgeon many times. It was at this moment, Ram-won's eyes flashed with pity. Tae-sik finally manages to track down So-mi, who is in a building. He entered the building and found 2 eyeballs rolling down his feet. He thought that it was So-mi's eyes. Holding back tears, he vowed to kill them all. With lightning-fast movements, he shoots Mon-sok and his men. After killing all his enemies, he felt that there was no longer any reason to live. So-mi is dead, so Tae-sik raised his gun and aimed it at his head. Luckily, before he committed suicide, he heard So-mi's voice calling out to him. At the end of the film, Tae-sik is caught by the police. The 2 eyeballs he saw turned out to be the eyes of the surgeon who was killed by Ram-won. On the way to the police station, Tae-sik asks the police to stop for a moment at the grocery store near his house. There, he bought a bag and stationery which he gave to So-mi. Tae-sik apologizes to So-mi for pretending not to know her when So-mi was interrogated by the police. Then, Tae-sik bids farewell to So-mi and strengthens her to be able to live alone. He hugged her while holding back tears. The film ends. From the characters Tae-sik and Ram-won, we can learn that no matter how bad our actions were in the past, there must be a time when we have to do good, regardless of whether the person we are helping is someone we know or not.